Hello weary travellers, Mokachu here, and today I'm starting my new World of Warcraft series, where I talk about characters within the game from a new player's perspective, because I am a new player. I started playing at like mid-January of this year, and yeah, I've learned a lot in my short time of playing, and today I'm going to be talking about Anduin Wrynn. But in all seriousness, yeah, Anduin's pretty awesome, I think. I've seen like a lot of hate for him online, because they're like, oh my gosh, he's not like Varian, he's a sissy. But seriously, a lot of people forget kind of, I think, what he's been going through. But yeah, I'll explain. So like, to begin, I wasn't really sure much about Anduin. I didn't like know hardly anything about him. I knew he was Varian's son, but because I used to have a friend who played and used to tell me about it, because he wanted to get me into it for ages, and he eventually stopped playing, and ironically I started playing after that. But yeah, so to begin, the first time I mainly saw Anduin was in Pandaria, where he runs around trying to help the Pandaren with I believe it's with the Shah. Yeah, so from the start I liked him. Although he was reckless and like Gen, his father, really wanted to find him, you could kind of understand why Anduin went there, because he felt like he had to. Like, he has a strong connection to the light, and it kind of sometimes, I guess, tells him what he needs to do, well, in Pandaria. But in general, like, from what I've seen of Anduin, I really like him, and I can appreciate his character, and I think he's developing really well, because when you actually think about it, Anduin's been through a lot of stuff at a young age. I think he's 19, like, during, like, Legion and Battle for Azeroth. He might get a bit older through Battle for Azeroth, but his father died, obviously fighting the Legion. Gul'dan kills him, and Anduin doesn't take that very well, and understandably, because he's kind of thrust into the position of king, and he also has to lead or command the attacks against the Burning Legion. And to begin with, he doesn't even have time to grieve for Varian, and that's tough, because, well, recently I lost a family member, so I know kind of what that's like. And he was so preoccupied with his king duties that he doesn't even get time to grieve. And like, I just feel kind of bad for him in that sense. And you can understand why he goes to the Broken Shore to see where his father fell. And gotta say, that cinematic where he takes his father's sword and it lights up again, like he falls to his knees and doesn't know what to do. And then he has that vision of Varian. Like, that cinematic is one of my favourites in the game, and it really touches me. It's good. And from that moment on, Anduin becomes Manduin. But yeah, he pretty much does, because yeah, well, basically he changes after that. Not completely, but he has the resolve to keep fighting, and the resolve to do what a king needs to do, as Varian said. He says what a king must do. But yeah, and I saw the Battle for Azeroth cinematic as well, and I think they've really nailed like Anduin's development. And although he's not as good as Varian at fighting, obviously, I think a lot of people need to remember how young Anduin is, and obviously he hasn't had as much experience as Varian. I think it's unfair to compare the two in a sense, because you kind of can't not compare them, but at the same time you can't be too harsh on Anduin, because considering his situation and his amount of experience, he's doing an incredible job as king. And from what we can see in Battle for Azeroth, he's not just like doing what he did in Legion to begin with, where he like sat at the sidelines and just ordered, while like kind of Gen controlled the armies, I believe. He's actually fighting on the front lines with his soldiers, and obviously his strong connection to the light gives him incredible power when, you know, he's backed into a corner. So I do believe the Battle for Azeroth will give Anduin a lot of experience, and it will kind of open some of the haters' eyes, I think, because I've been online, I see a few comments like mocking Anduin, saying like he's a sissy who only cares about peace. But that's something I can appreciate with Anduin's personality. Although to begin with, I guess it could get a little annoying for some people. Like, he wants peace because he doesn't want the Horde and the Alliance to fight, because obviously people will die, and he cares about the people of the Alliance. Especially of like Stormwind, he cares about his people a lot, and you can see that, because also with the mission where when you begin the quest line where he goes to the Broken Shore, he walks around Stormwind and says like, although my like people like me, I don't think they actually really believe in me. And I found that was quite tough as well, because Anduin's not a dumb kid, even though he's young. Like, he's very mature for his age, I'd say. But he knew that he had to find a way to get his people to rally behind him and actually believe that he can, lead them to victory and lead the Alliance just as well as Varian. And I think he's doing a good job in, kind of becoming the king he needs to be. And yeah, I won't ramble on for too long. But overall, as a new player, seeing Anduin's development, and I also watch a lot of videos, so I've caught up on a few things. Basically, I think Anduin's a really good character, and he's definitely one of my favourites. And I think a lot of the people who hate on Anduin, I understand some people aren't going to like him, but I think some people need to just think about the character in general, and if they were in his situation, they probably wouldn't do as good as he does, or they would be in a similar situation. Even if your attitude was a little different, being a king at his age is really difficult, I can imagine. But anyway, I think you get what I'm trying to say. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. If you want to see more from me, subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications for when I upload new WoW videos. I'll be talking about all loads of characters from my new player perspective. And yeah, if you have any tips for me, with making videos, or what characters you want me to talk about next, leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you and work on it. Anyway, I've been Mokachu, and I'll see you soon.